Welcome, I'm Crystalgate, playing From Glory to Go. And today I'm playing as the Chieftain for the tribes. You do generally speaking want to have sight range for the tribes. I should just have picked sight range. Well, I did it eventually. There is really no need to consider. This one is also really obvious unit speed. And this armor is great if you want to have any kind of melee unit. I have decided no red crystal. I think the blue crystal is the best pick, to be honest.
Ready for war. Yes.
I said I decided no red crystal, and that's because that means I can't imbue the spirit stones with lightning and meteor. The Chieftain can appoint leaders to every village and also the starting. I appointed someone called a High Priest to the starting village. The High Priest gets more radius to village. The blue or purple flame that surrounds the village gets +2 to that radius, and also I think +40% mana production or something like that. I do think that's the best start for the Chieftain, because mana matters a lot at the very beginning. You're going to do a lot of work for the villagers. By holding control and clicking on things like the food, but also on various objects like plants, you can pick them up and then you can drop them to the pyramid or to another village center and get the benefits of a villager having harvested it without a villager needing to harvest it.
Ready for war.
A large percentage of your income will come from that, so for that reason I really think you should go for mana at the beginning of the game.
We will crush them. Stick to it. A worthy order. A worthy order. I will oblige. It's never surrender. Take your minute.
And part where I dropped the food, that's because I ran out of mana. You need mana to pick up, then also to transport. If you run out, you drop it.
Leave me. Taste my steel.
Oh yeah, my suggestion is that you at the beginning don't really build a hall of accord and train any warriors. You hope you get enough in the pyramid to defend your base.
Taste my steel. Taste my steel. Never so victory will be ours. Victory will be ours. Yes.
Okay, I have changed my tactics a bit. I used to research pump first, but I am now not doing that anymore. The first research is often plantation. Problem with the pumps is that it takes first a lot of effort to start researching it. And then it takes also quite a bit of effort to build it, and it's usually at the beginning easier to just build more fields. As far as the pyramid goes, I think what you should do is to fill the first 2 rows with gates. The first 2 rows except for the crystals, but that should become a crystal of course, but otherwise fill the first 2 rows with gates and then you don't need any other gate at all. At least for the Chieftain. Chieftain gets a perk that increases the pyramid warrior effectiveness. The shaman does not, so the shaman may need 1 more to compensate.
Victory will be ours. A worthy order. It shall be done.
The blue crystal, I think, has some of the best spells to start with. You get Farsight, which is like the relay station with the other factions. It also gets Blessing, which I think doubles your attack speed. This is rather great because what you can do is to just cast the Blessing of the Chieftain and then send him to expand. I have built a second town and I got a warden on the second town. I think unless you picked warden on the first town, you should get warden on the second town. Because what you then do is that you get Hall of Accord and then also the Lava Forge later. When you have Hall of Accord and Lava Forge, it means every unit gets a discount from the warden. I do think I got a pretty good location here. Oh yeah, one big difference I have done compared to other operation videos is that I have removed the enemy mutators. The problem with the enemy mutators is that while they made the operations harder, they also have a way to screw over units differently. For example, the mutator that makes the enemies explode completely screws over melee and makes them pretty much unusable. Well, or at least unusable for the sake of expanding. You can still use melee to guard openings against a select few enemies waltzing in, but they can't really fight the wave, or they can't really expand well because they will just die. There's also the crystal structure on enemies that makes them negate the first hit. This one obviously screws over units who have slow attack speed but hits very hard.
Takes my speed. Taste my steel.
The crystalline structure doesn't really care if you hit the enemy for 3 damage or 500 damage. Yeah, units that attacks like a machine gun barely cares, while something like Monolith,
Taste my steel.
they are going to need 2 attacks in order to kill the weakest enemy there is, a single hopper. Because, well, the crystal structure will stop the 500 monolith damage just as much as it will stop weakest of hits. Now, what I think I should do in the future if I play Operation, that is to skip excessive automation. Because I have noticed the game gets a bit too easy with excessive automation. And I don't really need that advantage. If I should at least not need it. If I don't pick any mutators. I should instead focus on getting more thematic things, like getting bonus armor, and bonus armor for melee units is great if I want to use melee units, for example.
Taste my steel.
Oh, for the pyramid. Since I'm not going for mass spam of spirit stones, because I can't enchant them now with offensive spells anyway, I don't see the point of getting a lot of statues, so it's going to be gardens. I built a new village center in the midst of those abandoned human structures. You can rescue them when your radius ends up inside them. So that's my plan. I got a lot of free units now.
Taste my steel.
The free units are, I think, far better for the tribes than they are for any other faction. The humans have to pay upkeep for them. And, well, the robots don't really need to. But they have still strong early game. The tribes, they are a bit weak early game. They are a bit slow starts, but then they get really crazy later on.
We're under attack.
I'm getting a lot of ores.
We're under attack. We're under attack. We're under attack.
We're under attack.
Oh yeah, the third village. We got the high priest as a leader, and that's is mainly so I can recruit the human structures quicker.
We're under attack.
Since the high priestess gets +2 radius, it means it recruits quicker. If you don't want to get any red crystals, I would say starting with blue is the best option. Then getting 2 green crystals and then the final blue. I should test getting 3 crystals of a color and see how effective it is. That said, major use of spells are to imbue the spirit stone. I'm not sure if the enhanced version provides better imbuing. That's probably something I should test.
We're under attack.
There are a lot of things that I wonder that I could, just go and test myself. Although I don't think I'm the worst at that. In fact, I think I do a fairly good job of testing things out myself instead of just relying on others to discover it.
We're under attack.
Takes my steel.
On my way.
We're under attack.
Ready. Go, go, go!
We're under attack.
Confirmed.
This is rather convenient. I got
Victory never surrender.
another well-defended area there. Sorry, easily defended.
Victory will be our end.
We're under attack.
Oh yeah, if I have to compare the Chieftain to the Shaman, I'm going to say that the Chieftain is probably better than the Shaman. What you can do with the Chieftain is the same strategy as the Shaman, just mass the spirit stones. You can also get the High Priest, which allows the Chieftain to have a higher mana income than the Shaman, which I think is a bit funny, really. That, to be honest, almost sounds wrong that it is so. I think I will have to
On my way.
take a look exactly at the
We're under
The
attack.
Chieftain. Okay, the scout tower. I suspect that it doesn't increase the range of human units, only tribe units. It looks to me like the commandos are shooting about as far as they would had they stood on the ground. They seem to be yeah, they can't reach that one, and I can tell you the commandos have the same range as a lobber, so if they are in a tower they would 100% be able to reach it. So yeah, they don't get any bonus range.
Orders received. On my way.
We're under attack.
On attack.
That's a bit too bad, really, because that would have otherwise been a great use for the commandos. Just put them in those watchtowers. No, your lancers will do fine because they have enough range to not need that additional range. Oh yeah, when it comes to the spirit stones, I can't really mass them very well, but I would recommend that you get one enchanted with Farsight and one enchanted with Shield. Then you may want some healing. If you're playing as the Chieftain,
We're under attack.
you're going to want early on to get a blue crystal, but I do wonder if you aren't better off eventually getting rid of the blue crystal and have 2 red and 2 greens. The 2 reds are obvious because that's how you get spirit stones with offensive spells. But the 2 greens, that's what you want in order to get the shield spells, and that's will be a great defense against projectiles. If you're playing shaman, you don't really need to worry. Yes, you get 1 red crystal extra, so my suggestion is 2 red, 2 green and 1 blue. The second blue crystals do get some good spells, but really only for casting it manually, not really for spirit stones.
We're under attack.
Victory will be ours.
Okay, the village I did at the southwest got a warden, and my plan for that village is bullocks cavalry. You can replace the bullocks with bullocks cavalry if you play as the chieftain, and I think one problem with that is that the bullocks don't take up any population, but the bullocks cavalry does. That said, the bullocks cavalry is significantly stronger.
We're under attack.
I'm having an idea. If I could generate operation with a lot of bonus armor, either general bonus armor or bonus armor to melee units.
We're under attack.
Yeah, playing as shaman and just going crazy, maxing out standard bullocks might actually be a winning move. You can get really big bullocks. The problem with bullocks is that they have much too low armor for being a melee unit. As a rule of thumb, you want 3 armor at least. That makes the treasures deal 1 damage per hit. I don't think bullocks gets even a single armor. So you need to get all of them from, well, either the improved alloys
We're under attack.
stratagem or the improved melee unit armor.
Taste my steel.
We're under attack. We're under attack. We're under attack.
Taste my steel.
I have placed, I think it's my 5th village. I may want to place them a bit further apart.
We're under attack.
Actually, that's something I'm going to have to consider for future playthroughs. Getting a lot of human units, I'm going to claim that most of my units are now human units.
We're under attack.
I'm also getting some via the RFI.
Taste my steel.
Having the RFI support operation is extra good for the tribes because they can get recall, which
We're under attack.
revives every dead unit at the command center. Pyramid. And
We're under
that means that the androids that are killed will return to you. A problem with the RFI cruiser is that it has a tendency to send androids right into the midst of the enemies and then they just die. But if you recall them, that solves the problem.
We're under attack.
That may or may not get patched out though. I think that I got a shield for the Chieftain, but there's very little reason to get it for the Chieftain because a Spirit Stone does the job much better.
We're under attack.
I picked the Reveler here, I don't know why. I think I wanted to pick the Steward and by mistake got the Reveler instead.
None shall survive.
That was rather lucky having that part being completely enclosed. Well, not completely. There's lava that the enemies absolutely can't cross. But
We're under attack.
still fairly good deal.
Takes my steel.
We're under attack. We're under attack.
Ready for action, sir.
We're under
Takes
attack.
my steel.
We're under attack.
Comes to the pyramid. I have put quite a lot of resources into it, but you do lose the pyramid after each mission. Apparently the pyramid lands or something like the ships, and well, it doesn't make that much sense with the pyramid. But, well, for gameplay sake, guess they have to keep it consistent.
Plantations.
We're under attack.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I meant to build a steward instead of Reveler on the latest village.
We're under attack.
No, not latest, on the 5th, I think. The steward needs less food, but has the problem that you get less effort, which I don't think matters that much because you probably get the most effort from plantation anyway. And also you can't recruit units, but it's a pretty good unit for just if you want to get a lot of crystal miners.
We're under attack. We're under attack.
Lead me. One shall
We're under
survive.
attack.
Proceed. Takes my steel.
We're under attack.
Oh yeah, you get a spell that summons a lot of spirit warriors if you pick up blue crystal. That one can come somewhat in handy, but unless you go very heavily into mana, you're not going to get that much mileage. It's mostly some sort of emergency spell. But I do think if you have a lot of statues in the pyramid and you go heavily for mana, you may be able to do some major damage by just summon a lot of them.
We're under attack.
Okay. It's time for the final wave for mission 1.
You need me.
Leave me. We're under attack.
I made a high priest now for this village. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I don't have a very solid plan for what village leaders I'm going to get.
We're under attack. We're under attack.
None shall survive.
We're under attack.
Nothing to it.
Okay, the pyramid is almost charged. The question is really what that means. There's another game of this type called Here Comes the Swarm. And there's something you charge when the last waves of enemy comes, and when you are charged, it what happens is that each enemy pretty much just dies. But here, charging the pyramid doesn't seem to do anything. So, well, whatever. So, first mission beaten. See what I can get. Engine thrust and Corvus cannon. The Corvus cannon can be useful. Now, let's see what I can buy. Carbines, I suppose. Carbines can be useful due to the fact that I have gotten a lot of human units, but I don't think the tribe has anything that counts as carbine. You can pick the same ship again when you or the same pyramid rather again when you're playing the tribes. You don't have to pick different pyramids each time. Okay, that was not cool. Okay, I really should pay attention to the fact that the enemy is across this lava pit all the time. I have built now a defensive tower, but there is something else I should realize. Anyway, it's time to basically speedrun the pyramid. You want to get the 4 crystals again pretty quickly. That said, I don't think it's worth building out the pyramid each time.
We're under attack.
None shall survive.
We're under attack.
None shall proceed.
We're under attack. under attack.
Taste my steel.
Picking up the 3 units is less important now than it was before because, well, make less of a difference, but I do want to clear the first 2 rows out anyway. Oh, that's again rather lucky. I don't need to build any defenses on this area here because there's just lava. That's sad. It's so much easier to clear things out when you're playing the try because the go doesn't unbarrow.
Taste my steel.
And it's also a place to any human and robot units you pick up. Human units that would normally trigger unbarrowing go won't do so when you're playing as the tribes. There may be some guest commentary from my cat. She has the funny idea that it's time for food despite the fact that it's like an hour or so before it's time for her to have food.
We're under attack. We're under attack. We're under attack.
On my way. On my way. Let's go.
You need me.
Oh yeah, the wisps, like things that they place. I think I have underused them a bit. Thing with the wisps is that if you place them within the village radius, they will not expire and instead they will consume, well, 1 mana. This is also another reason why the blue crystal is really powerful to start with, because it makes it so much easier to guard your villages.
We're under attack.
They can of course also be used as an emergency. Not against anything strong though.
Taste my steel.
We're under attack. We're under attack. We're under attack.
Taste my steel. Guns, you need me.
We're under attack.
You need me. Guns shall survive.
We're under
Yeah. Since I can't mass spirit stones now, well I can, but there's very little point in it without red crystals. I'm instead massing scorpions, and well, I think they have been improved quite a lot. They used to do rather low amount of damage per shot and then they pierced. What I think has happened is that they have had their damage increased a lot, but each time they pierce they lose the damage or something like that. Like they do, is it 140 damage? If they hit an enemy with 30 life, they will lose 30 damage from the bolt and just do 110 to the next enemy they hit or something like that. I think it's how it works. That means they can now actually kill the tougher enemies. I don't know why I picked the High Priest. Again, if I'm near something that if I'm near human structures, then it makes sense to pick the High Priest, because that's going to be my method of recruiting them, but otherwise, well, it really doesn't matter.
You're under attack.
Oh yeah, the Overseer. The Overseer is, I guess, in theory good for effort production. In practice, I think most of effort production comes from getting plant, but guess there's some value in not losing happiness in overcrowding the plots. I personally get most of my money from plantations, so well, the Overseer isn't really helping that much. But I'm rather new to playing the Chieftain. I haven't really thought too heavily about what's the best strategy.
You're under attack.
I think pretty sure I'm picking a bit like random.
You're under attack.
If you're hearing the cat, she's getting a bit obnoxious, really.
You're under attack.
Yeah, my cat really isn't that great at waiting. I have got a few war prism, but I do wonder if I shouldn't have restricted myself from using them as well. Although that would just have meant a lot of scorpion spam instead.
Nothing to it. Nothing to it. We're under attack. Proceed.
None shall survive.
I say they do. Tribes do have the Warden as a unit, and it is, in my opinion, an interesting unit. But it's melee, and well, I don't think it's going to be that great. It is very powerful. That's like, I think, is 500 life or something like that, but It
We're under attack.
Well, I'm having more success with ranged, really. I have been able to use melee fairly well with both humans and robots. But with tribes, there's two problems right now. First being that they don't have any academy, so they can't start at high level. And that means too little armor.
We're under attack.
The second problem is that the Hall of Accord units use that population. I would have to distribute the Hall of Accord among a lot of different villages to build in order to be able to get a lot of warriors.
We're under attack.
I can get 200 Avengers pretty easily as humans. And also a lot of spinners
We're under attack.
if I'm playing robots, but getting that number of nomads isn't really going to work.
Nothing to it.
None shall survive.
Nothing to it. We're under attack.
I'm more and more thinking that the best approach might almost be to go heavily into mana and then just spam those spectrals warriors with blue crystal. Okay, this is where I really should have paid attention to the fact that the enemies like to cross lava. There's a wave coming and... Well, you may already guess which path it will take based on what I said. Yeah! Lava, what's that? Let's just cross it. 4 tiles of lava is usually enough to prevent the enemies from crossing. There's something that has made this set of lava that fun for the enemies to cross. I have no idea why they choose to cross it. But well, they have crossed it once and they will cross it for every other wave. Freeze! I am starting to think that this could be abusable if you have enough mana income, because it has a really high radius.
We're under attack. We're under attack.
You need me. Nothing to it.
We're under attack.
None shall survive.
We're under
Oh yeah, it's time to start spamming units, so more lava forges. Now again, this is almost unfair when it comes to the Chieftain.
We're under
Takes
attack.
my
You really just need one warden and you can have every lava forge unit at a discount. I'm thinking that it shouldn't apply to
nothing to it.
the
Proceed.
lava forge units, the discount.
We're under attack.
Really, I think Since it doesn't take up any population, it shouldn't get that benefit.
You're under attack.
None shall survive.
You're under attack. You're under attack.
Anyway, it looks like I'm going to get a more or less full map clear before wave 5. This would probably not have happened if I had skipped excessive automation. That said, you do get extra time when you're playing operations.
You're under attack.
I think that selecting buildings like that should be something you can hotkey. I should make that a suggestion. It would help a lot, really. I have maxed out on crystals now, at least.
None shall survive. Lead me.
Oh yeah, and this area is easily defended as well.
Nothing to see.
You're under
Yeah,
attack.
this has been a great map. I got a great map and I got great stratagems. But again, for future playthrough, skip excessive automation, especially if I'm not playing the desert biome, because this biome here is much easier than desert biome, so yeah. Also, maybe I should skip getting a lot of human units. That kind of it a little bit defeated the purpose of testing out the Chieftain, but well. I think if I can get a lot of extra armor, Bullocks cavalry could be great, but with enough extra armor, the standard Bullocks could also be great. I think they have the advantage of not taking up populations, so they can be more spent freely, but the biggest ones do, however, need a lot of time to grow.
You're under attack.
You could, I guess, compensate by just getting a lot of ranches.
None shall survive.
Yeah, that's something to consider for a concept.
You're under attack.
Play charm, I guess, one fire crystal only. I have tested out fireball in Bung, and it's not anywhere near as good as lightning and meteor.
Lead me.
We're under attack. Nothing to it. We're under attack. We're under attack.
Oh yeah, if you look at the bottom right corner, my effort income is in theory very low. There's another concept. No plantations allowed run. That would force me to get the upgraded plots. I have upgraded some, I think, but kind of tend to forget about it. I also don't think they are worth that much because, well, I can just get plantation.
We're under attack.
I think I need to do some calculations, but I think that the stone plots have quite a high payoff time. Well, I am getting the second, well, or the fifth wave, second for this mission, and should be more than prepared, really.
We're under attack.
Yeah, I'm having some problem here. Seem to take whatever can. The cooperative leadership. I guess it makes sense to move it here because it is very powerful, but at the same time, when you get it pretty late, it's no longer that useful. The steward, for example, is great for growing quick, but the chance is you already done most of the growing. Yeah, I speed up the game now because I have done more or less a full clear. Everything that's not cleared just is terrain I'm not interested in. Now it's really just time to spam a lot of units and prepare for the 6th wave. Yeah.
You're under attack.
Oh yeah, well they also patched in forge-like building
You're under attack.
for the tribe, so now you can get good weapons for the tribe hero as well. I don't think the tribe gets a very great setup though. I'm thinking something like 3 talismans and then maybe 1 blue potion and then 2 plants, and then you just use the heroes to spam meat shields. Although I guess maybe having constant healing on, just leave the healing on autocast and have 1 plant and 1 healing. That you may be sustainable if you have both the blue potion and 3 blue amulets. Or what is it called? Blue amulets? I don't really know. I think I also need to feed my cat soon, despite the fact that she really should be able to wait at least half an hour. But, well, waiting is not really my cat's strong point. Problem is that she might be providing too much guest commentary. I have to see them. I don't know really until after the recording is done. So maybe you don't hear anything. Yeah. Final wave should be ready for it. I do need to defend against the Rokosk, and here I also need walls to ensure that there are no lava crossing. I'm getting rid of almost all of the fields and turning them into plantations. If you do have the artifacts that makes the plantation have a chance to give food, that's really great, but well, even without, I still think that they are already. Yeah, that's going to be a problem, because having destroyers crossing the lava, they barely gives a shit about the lava damage. They did fortunately have nothing. And yeah, really, what the hell is up with the enemies just crossing lava? That must have been some patch thing that I completely missed. Oh well, I will take some hits, but it should be pretty easy to build it up once I defeat it. Let's see what we can get for the third mission. Would have been better getting it at the start. Yeah, cargo, very useful on third mission. Okay, I'm speeding up now a lot, because really it's going to be just rebuilding and spamming pretty much. Okay, and there's two important things that happened. One, I've fed my cat, and two, there's dropped a patch that makes those colored squares appear that shows which area belongs to which village.
Take my seat. Take my seat. Take my seal. Take my seal. Take my seal. Nothing to. Take my seal. Take my seal.
Oh yeah. I have a negative effort income now. And this is one reason why I
Take my seal.
prefer plantation. Plantations are immune against the negative income. I will lose, of course,
Take my seal.
the effort when a new cycle ticks, but if I'm able to spend it, I'll be able to keep it. And also, well, my plantations are clearly overpowering the negative income.
Take my seal.
The effort income I'm getting from plantation seems to be about 3,000 or so. Perhaps even a bit more. That's pretty much what the humans can hope for getting from the ship if you're picking the Phoenix and you're playing as the roboticist. The roboticist has a bonus to the manufacturing zones. Music is quite something on high speed.
Take my seal.
Yeah, I really need to start building some places I wouldn't think of building otherwise, because the enemies just love crossing the lava.
Lead me.
You got it.
Time to speed up again.
Never surrender. It shall be done.
I really should have made something about this lava road here that the enemy keep using. You know, this map could have been a disaster if I didn't have this much excessive power. Oh yeah, that's where I get the idea how to fix the lava road. It's a bit silly putting walls on the enemy side, but whatever. It works. far as the Chieftain now is concerned, I think that the Chieftain sure is better than the Shaman, but it's more like he gets better economy due to being able to appoint different village leaders, being able to buy everything at a discount. Every unit. I don't think that the Chieftain specific unit, the Burlocks Rider and the Ferrylit Riders, are that great. But well, last wave, and well, I have an excessive amount of units, so it's good as one. We'll see how much resistance this sludge does. He's going to join the battle. Huh, it reminds me, it would have been nice if they created a leader for the robots as well.
Never surrender.
Okay, the sludge is going there, so I'm sending over a bit of reinforcements to deal with it. The sludge, I think, is the strongest of them, because when you hit it, it releases sludgers, and they have a tendency to come of high number and then just wreck the war. That said, it doesn't seem to be very hard here. I think one reason is because I'm hitting it with units that deals high damage per hit and attack infrequently, which means it doesn't get to release that many sludge. At least I think that's how it works. If so, then something like machine guns would be absolute worst. Regardless, I'm about to beat it. I'm sure there's been a breach, but I have more than enough to deal with it. Anyway, see you next time. Whatever idea I get. I don't know what I'll try.